Welcome, everyone, to episode 7 of Around the ATL on SportsVisions 921 FM. Very excited to be here, of course, every week. Thanks to those listening on the TuneIn app. Please, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube page where you can watch the live stream of each show. Today's show, of course, is brought to you by Southern Classic Transportation. Make sure you give them a call at 404-291-0150. As for Dennis, comfort and courtesy unrivaled. They're based in Atlanta, so if you need to travel to and from in the city, get to the airport or whatnot, go to an important meeting, or even go out of state, make sure you go to southernclassictransportation.com. And again, call 404-291-0150. Also brought to you by imtmworldwideimages.com. They are going to be in town in Atlanta this week. You need to hit them up now, 706-393-8426 to book your photo shoot. Very important. Also, I want to mention our contributors today. We have a few. So if you go to the imtmworldwideradio.com website, you can see some of them. Jamal Price of Price Design Club, artist Ram1 and producer Calcutta out of Atlanta, and Yolanda Elder Strong. I want to say thank you to all for making things possible for Around the ATL. Let's go ahead and bring in our co-host for tonight's show. He is a longtime Atlanta sports fan, sports writer, who's always out and about in the ATL. Jordan Jackson, how are you tonight, sir?
What's going on, sir? As you say, I'm around the ATL. As always, glad to be on SportsVisions 92.1 FM, talking about Atlanta and Georgia sports. With that being said, sir, let's get into them.
All right, sounds like a plan to me. So first things first, it's football season. It might as well be. It's football season year-round, basically, right? So for the Atlanta Falcons, we just had the combine, and the rumor is, is that the Falcons only sent defensive assistants to the combine, right? And I guess that's to show that they're really, really, really serious about concentrating on getting defensive players this time around, right? In this draft, this season, after drafting 4 straight offensive players in the first round over the last 4 seasons. So the Falcons are, however, still at the bottom of the league in sacks. We can't stop the run. AJ is still our best cornerback. That being said, 45 official interviews scheduled, 45 supposed to be with defensive players. Do we believe that? I don't know. Is it truly the intention of this team to build a true defense to coincide with the offense? Because, they didn't do that with Matt Ryan, Hall of Famer. They could have done so. By the way, last year in 2024, the Falcons gave up 24 more points 8 times. 8. Jordan, what are the biggest needs for the Falcons this year, sir?
Well, the biggest need this year, sir, is the same as the biggest need last year, the year before that, and the year before that. That is edge rushers, sir. But also, we have several needs on the defensive side of the ball. We could use more interior guys that could win up front. We could probably use another stand-up linebacker or 2. We definitely need another corner on the other side of A.J. Terrell. And we probably are going to need another safety to possibly replace Justin Simmons, who may leave in free agency and who didn't quite work out as well as we expected anyway in last year's free agency. So I definitely think defense should be the focus at the combine. Now, I will tell you, though, sir, despite the fact that it was only defensive assistants doing interviews, I have heard it confirmed that the Falcons' offensive line coach was also there at the combine, assisting with the on-field drills of the offensive linemen.
Interesting. Well, I know the Falcons have, a pick at the beginning of the draft, and I saw on some of the sites some of the prospects. Darius Alexander out of Toledo, 6'3", 305-pound defensive tackle, runs a 4.95 40-yard dash. Jameer Stewart, defensive end out of Texas A&M, 6'5", 267. Maxwell Hairston, cornerback out of Kentucky, ran the fastest 40 out of the combine at 4.28 seconds, had 6 picks, 3 returned for touchdowns in his 2 years. Might be, anybody that you can think of that, comes to mind, Jordan?
Well, obviously my focus is on edge rushers, but I'm not so sure that we're going to end up with an edge rusher. Obviously, I would love to get my hands on Michael Williams, the edge rusher out of Georgia, or Jalen Walker, the other edge rusher out of Georgia. But it's very likely that both of them could be gone. We know the top guy, Abdul Carter out of Penn State's going to be gone. So um, it just depends on who's left from the Falcons pick. Unfortunately, though, it said there's character issues with Mike Green, the edge rusher out of Tulane that had 17 sacks. So that's going to take him off the board for the Falcons. The same with James Pierce of Tennessee, also character concerns, as well as the cornerback. I think Harrison is his name that you just mentioned out of Kentucky. He's another one with character concerns. So you can pretty much remove them from the Falcons board, sir, because unfortunately the Falcon filter is definitely still in place.
So as the weeks go by, be paying attention to Around the ATL on SportsVisions 92.1 FM as we get deeper into the Atlanta Falcons NFL draft. The Braves, real quick about the Braves.
Real quick note, sir. I do have a rhyme for you concerning the Falcons free agency and one of the main free agents the Falcons have. Okay. If the rumors about Drew Dahlman getting $20 million a year are true, I wish him well, and the Falcons should too.
It's a business, right? So we got to think of it like that at that point. The Braves, real quick about the Braves. They're 6-3 in spring training for those who care, right? They had a tie today, 0-0. That's crazy, right? In the Grapefruit League. Right now, none of the stars are really hitting that much, but shortstop Nick Allen is hitting .417 so far. So Arcia better watch out for him, right? We'll talk more Braves as the season approaches, though. High school basketball, let's get into that a little bit. Jordan, go ahead and take it away with what's happening in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. In the 5A semifinals, Woodward Academy advanced to the championship game by defeating Langston Hughes out of Fairburn 63-58. One of my schools I went to, Lee County, fell 63-75 to Tri-Cities. In the 4A semis, Pace Academy 76, Tucker 40, North Oconee 70, McDonough 60. So Pace and the Academy and North Oconee will face each other in the state championship game. Sandy Creek 71, Windsor Forest 42. Got Cedar Grove out of Ellenwood 53, Monroe High School out of Albany 45. Private school semis, North Cobb Christian 57, Green Forest 51, and Holy Innocents 84, Mount Parent Christian 42. So North Cobb Christian and Holy Innocents will face off for the state title, sir.
Wow. For the guys in Columbus, Georgia, unfortunately, Carver's season has come to an end. They got beat by Butler in overtime, 78-73, which is devastating. They were one game away from the championship game. They finished with a record of 27-3. The ladies of Hardaway High School, however, they did beat Josie 65-45 to advance to the championship game, which will be played March 6th against Murray County. That game will be in Macon, Georgia. So if you're nearby, take the trip and support. Also in Columbus, both the Bocelli boys and girls basketball teams advanced to the GIAA state title game. So congratulations to them. Jordan, let's talk some TGL golf, sir.
One other quick note on high school basketball scores, sir. Willer out of Marietta 66, Grayson 53 in the 6-8 semifinals, and Newton 56, Pebblebrook of Mableton 53. So Willer and Newton will face each other for the state championship. With that being said, on to the TGL, sir. The Atlanta Drive Golf Club finished their season with a 4-1 record after defeating Jupiter, Florida 9-1 on Tuesday. The Jupiter, Florida team is led by Tiger Woods. They have already clinched a playoff berth, and they'll be the third seed, and they'll face the Bay Area in the semifinals. And the Bay Area team is led by last year's Masters runner-up, Ludwig Aberg.
Interesting. Tiger doing a little bit something out there. Hopefully our team has a chance. Let's go ahead and transition to college basketball. This is going to be to you as well, Jordan. Can you catch us up on the HBCUs as the college basketball season comes to an end for them?
Absolutely. We have the SIAC men's basketball tournament going on right now. Albany State 105, Lane College 102. Albany State will face Tuskegee in the quarterfinals. Morehouse 62, Lamont Owen 51, and Fort Valley State 71, Central State 78. So Morehouse will take on Central State in the quarters. Savannah State 79, Spring Hill College 74. Savannah State will take on Miles College in the quarterfinals. Number one seed Clark had a bye, number one seed in the East, that is, and they will play Kentucky State in the quarterfinals, sir.
All right. Going to UGA, after beating the number 5 Florida Gators last week, they followed it up with wins against Texas, 83-67, and then just most recently, 73-64 over South Carolina. So they've come back a little bit after that Auburn loss. Their final game of the season is going to be against Vanderbilt. So right now, UGA does have a pretty good chance to actually make the NCAA tournament straight up, which would be amazing. Because again, they were looking pretty dead for a second there. The SEC is stacked this year, though. And again, even if they don't qualify straight up, I still think they have a chance to maybe get in by winning the SEC tournament. I know that's crazy sounding, but they played Auburn pretty close, and they beat Florida. Go ahead, Jordan, briefly.
Yes, sir. I do agree. I do think UJ has a good chance to get in now with their recent surge. I saw a projection that has them predicted to be a 10th seed. Obviously, if they were to win the SEC tournament, they'd automatically be in. But I think a win or two in the SEC tournament would solidify them a spot in the big dance, sir.
And actually, and you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I forget sometimes a couple of wins can get you in there. You don't have to win the whole thing. It's about what's on paper, too. As we continue tonight on SportsVisions 92.1 FM around the ATL, we're going to go into some College Park Skyhawks talk. Jordan, can you catch us up on what they've been doing lately?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, hasn't been great. They lost 87-100 against the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Nikola Duricic had 16 points and 3 assists, 5 from 10 from the field, but 0 of 2 on his threes. Daquan Plowden had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 8 on threes. Then they played Rio Grande Valley again, and this time they fell 108-126. Dominique Barlow led the Skyhawks in that game with 26 points and 10 rebounds. Keaton Wallace had 18.7 assists. Nikola Duricic had just 8 and 5 in that game, only 1 of 5 from the floor and 0 of 2 from three-point range. And one of the reasons why the Skyhawks dropped those last 2 games, they lost center Tony Bradley, who had been a key contributor. He just recently signed a 2-way contract with the Indiana Pacers, sir.
Congratulations to him. The whole point of the G League is to be able to promote yourself, really, right? Does hurt the team, though, long term. Let's transition to volleyball. Pro Volleyball Federation, the Atlanta Vibe. They are officially in a slump, y'all. They lose again to the Orlando Valkyries, 3-2 on the road. Pia Timmer led the team with 20 points and had 4 aces, followed by Merritt Beeson with 19 points and 2 aces. Pia also had 22 digs. The Vibe are currently 6-8 on the season now, and hopefully they can get back to their winning ways this Friday, March 7th, against the Vegas Thrill at home at Gas South Arena in Atlanta. So make sure if you're in Atlanta, go and support, but also you can watch the match on Roku channel at 7 o'clock. Columbus River Dragons just had a home-and-home in Michigan against the Motor City Rockers, winning 6-3 and 7-6, that one in overtime. In the first win, Nolan Chakpeta had a goal and 2 assists for 3 points, and Sammy Bernard had 26 saves. In the second win, Nolan had a goal and assist for 2 points, and Justin McDonald had 2 goals and 1 assist for 3 points, and Kyle Moore had 3 assists. So congratulations to them on that little bit of a win streak. They're currently third in the conference still, 21-11. The next home game, it's been a while, March 28th at the Columbus Civic Center in Columbus, Georgia. So make sure you buy your tickets now and support. And I forgot to do the Columbus River Dragons. Columbus Storm. They've won their second game of the season, defending their championship from a year ago. They beat the Alabama War Dogs 30-0, shut them out. And right now, their next game is going to be March 8th against the Clarksville Chiefs. So again, if you're in Columbus, Georgia, that will be a home game. Go to Garrett Harrison Stadium and buy your tickets to support. Last but not least, as we get ready to transition to some professional basketball, let's talk some CSU basketball real quick. The guys, they clinched the Peach Belt Conference regular season championship 83-72 with a win over USC Beaufort. Congrats to them. They ended their season by beating Georgia College 87-73 with a 25-3 record. The ladies are also doing great, beating USC Beaufort in a close one 78-77, then finished the season in a 78-68 win over Georgia College. They have a 20-7 record. They will be hosting the quarterfinals at Frank G. Lumpkin Jr. Center. I will update you next week on those final scores for you. Jordan, anything you want to catch up on before we get ready to go to the Hawks?
Yes, sir. One last note. Unfortunately, in their second match, Atlanta United 0, Charlotte FC 2. So Atlanta United did foul to a rival Charlotte in their second match.
Thank you for catching us up on that, because I did neglect to get that in there. I appreciate that. So next, last but not least, we're going to talk some Atlanta Hawks for the rest of the show. Let's give a little bit of a break for everybody. Again, thanks everyone for listening to Around the ATL on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. We will be right back.
You're listening to Around the ATL with Chris and Jordan. We'll be right back with more Atlanta sports talk.
And we are back on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. This is Around the ATL, as we every week talk Atlanta and Georgia sports and have a great time, great fun doing it. And that being said, let's go ahead and get into our last segment of the night, the Atlanta Hawks. First of all, before I get started, congrats to Zachary Richardson for being named Rookie of the Month. He averaged 12.8 points a game, 4 boards, but he had a 16-point game, 2 17-point games, 1 18-point game, and 1 19-point game mixed in and all that. Hopefully he can do that again for us in March, because we're going to need it. So for the Atlanta Hawks, the season is on the line, folks. The 6th seed is too far away now to get, unless they pull off like a 10-game win streak and the Detroit Pistons lose like 7 in a row, right? So it's a fight for the 7th seed, where they're only a game and a half behind pretty much there, or, a little bit closer depending on who loses, right? But if they get there, they get home court in the play-in tournament. And if they win, they clinch the 7th seed. And yes, that means they play the defending champions, the Boston Celtics. But we know we can beat that team, right? It will be harder without Jalen Johnson and Hunter, but it's doable, because the Celtics, guess what? They're not a sure thing, right? So let's talk about the Hawks' most recent win against the Memphis Grizzlies. Big win. They beat them 132-130 on the road. Dyson got a steal on Bain, and Karras received a kick-out pass for a game-winning layup. Very exciting. In this game, Karras had 25. Richardson had 27. Double O had 16 and 12. Dyson had 14.7 dimes and 3 steals. Trey had 15 assists. Garrison also had 3 threes. 2 big notes in this game. They didn't shoot themselves out of this game on threes. And other than Zach and Karras and Garrison, nobody shot more than 2 threes in the game for a total of 28. And I think that's where they should be to really compete the rest of this season. Also, Trey didn't really have to shoot in this game. He only took 17 shots after missing his first 5, believe it or not, in the first quarter. In the second quarter, he was 2 of 4 for 50%. In the third quarter, he was 3 of 6 for 50%. And he only took 2 shots in the fourth, and he missed both of those. He didn't shoot a three-pointer after the first quarter for the rest of that game. He didn't need to, though, in this game, because of what Zach was doing, what Karras was doing, what Garrison was doing. He had 15 assists, obviously, right? The Hawks had 82 points in the paint and only gave up 12 fast break points, which is the other reason we won that game. Jordan, talk about this Grizzlies game, and do you think it was an important win? Do you think it could be a catalyst for the rest of the season?
Sports Radio 92.1 FM, SportsVisions, and you're listening to Around the ATL. Thank you for listening to your folks. It was a big win, a huge win, very exciting, very exciting. I want to say it could be a catalyst, but then when you turn around and lose the next game, which we'll talk about here shortly, then you're not so sure. But of the year type defensive play by Dyson Daniels to steal that ball from Bain. He made a great pass to Karis LeVert, and Karis LeVert with a great finish by switching hands and landed up on the other side of the rim. As you said, Zachary Richardson was outstanding in that game. 27 points on 11 of 13 from the field, 5 of 7 from three-point range. That's outstandingly efficient, especially for 19 for anybody, but really very impressive for a 19-year-old rookie. Also, Karis LeVert was incredible in that game as well. 25 points, 5 assists, and just made so many big shots down the stretch in the fourth quarter of that game. So with that being said, sir, I guess we need to talk about this game against Milwaukee that took place right after the Memphis game.
This is true, and what I want to do is there's a comment here saying, well, Trey is never going to get us a ring because he's too soft. This has nothing to do with being soft or whatever that designation is. It's about hitting shots. And when you pass the ball as much as Trey does, again, one, he's leading the league in clutch points, clutch assists, potential assists per game, total assists, and assists per game. And he's a league leader in points generated by assists and points generated by assists and buckets. It's not Trey at all. It's the rest of whatever we don't have, which is what other teams do have, and the Hawks organization refused to put on our team. So that's the issue that I will address continually, especially if you get a chance to go to IMTM Worldwide Radio on YouTube and watch my review of the Orlando Magic game from a week and a half ago. You'll see that in detail. Go ahead, Jordan.
I mean, what does that even mean that Trey is soft? You hear you talking about a guy who plays through a lot of injuries. He's been listed in the report for every game this season. And in the past, before we had a guy like a Dyson Daniels in some of those playoff series against teams like the Heat, he'd be one of the only people getting up in people's faces, and trying to challenge people about rough play against him, and more importantly, rough play against his teammates. So I don't see at all how Trey Young is soft. He's a smaller player. Obviously, he's a finesse player, not a.
As you get back into the signal, the reason that this question was even coming up, I was about to answer it, typing it in, but he just said we could have had Luka. So I don't even want to go any further in that particular discussion.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I knew there was something to that, I just have to, But go ahead, repeat your statement there.
Well, like I said, he's a smaller player, and obviously a smaller player is going to be a finesse player. But Trey doesn't shy from going into the paint to shoot his floaters and stuff around the basket either. So I don't understand that about Trey being soft. But with that being said, sir, give me your thoughts on this Milwaukee Bucks game, the most recent game that the Hawks just played.
Well, and this is with Giannis and Dame playing in the game, obviously, and of course, the Hawks are still, playing shorthanded and everything. But we were in the game. We had the lead in the game, right? And again, just the point of, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see if I can do this. Give me a second here, Jordan. I'm going to try to pull this up because I didn't have it.
While you do that, I will just say that the final score in the game was Atlanta 121, Milwaukee 127. And as you said, it was a very close game. There was a point when the score was 123-121, and Trey drove to the basket and tried to shoot a floater. It was a great defensive play by Brook Lopez that contested, and the floater just fell short. And Milwaukee, made a couple more baskets from that to pretty much put the game away.
Yeah. So, one of the things about in the fourth quarter alone, Trey had 4 assists, right? 4 points, 4 assists. Right. And so when we're talking about trying to get over the hump, so to speak, at a certain point, we have to have more. Right. And in this particular game, let's just talk about that. In our starting lineup for this game, we had one who had 7 points and one who had 6 points in the starting lineup. The others, 15 points, 16 points, 28 points. And then Karis LeVert gave us 21 off the bench, and Terrence Mann gave us 12, right? So again, is it enough? Do we have enough? Now, again, we have people hurt and injured, right? Jalen is out, right? Vit's out, Nance is out. We're missing a lot of different players, but at a certain point, you have to be consistent. And as much as the other night, Zach had 27 points, I mentioned this at the very beginning of the All-Star, after the All-Star break. We needed Zach to be Rookie of the Year for the rest of the year, right? He just got named Rookie of the Month, and very well deserved, but 3 for 10 and 1 for 6 from 3, it's not enough. We had 7 points. How many points did we lose by, Jordan?
By 6, sir.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? So his average, if he just hits his average, we win the game. How many free throws did we miss? Too many again, right? It's just these little things that, unfortunately, we just have not been able to do on a regular basis, night after night, game after game, as opposed to the teams that they're loaded. Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, OKC. They have player after player. Their depth is just better. It's always been better than ours. And then again, we're in the Eastern Conference where everybody has a big that can get you 15, 16, 18, 19 points, 10, 12 rebounds a night, 3 or 4 blocks. Either they're really good at defense or they're really good at offense. There's a few who are good at both, but we don't have either. And it's been a problem for 7 years. And I've shown that in many, many, many episodes of Around the ATL on IMTM Worldwide Radio, if you want to look at those game reviews to show you those things right there, especially the missed shots. We miss a lot of shots that are generated and they're wide open, and it catches up with us every game. So I'm hoping that the Hawks can still, get there. I want to see them in the playoffs this year badly. They need to be in the playoffs after what happened last year. And then at the end of the day, we need to field an actual team. Why are the Atlanta Hawks the only team that don't want to compete? It doesn't make any sense. All the teams that are above us were below us 4 years ago. And we have done everything opposite of what all those other teams to grow a team properly, and it doesn't make any sense. One last quick thought, Jordan, as we get ready to close out the show.
Yes, sir. Well, the fact that I find interesting is in the Hawks' last 2 wins, Trae Young is averaging just 11.5 points per game. But he's also averaging 14.5 assists against 4.5 turnovers, which is about a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio in the last 2 wins. So that shows you that the team is just much better when everybody is clicking and the supporting cast is doing their thing. And Trae doesn't have to be Superman scoring the basketball when he could just dish and do his thing, and the guys are making majority of the shots. The Hawks have an excellent chance to beat anybody. So with that being said, sir.
And that's right after February, 30-11. The only player in the NBA to do that. He's the only one to do that, but 30-11 don't matter no more, right? Anyway, we got to go. It's been a fun show tonight on our 7th show here on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. If you're in Atlanta, Columbus, Texas, Australia, London, Africa, tell a friend. If you've heard the show, if you enjoy it, Atlanta and Georgia sports, make sure you visit IMTM Worldwide Radio as well. We have to go. Jordan, last word, quickly.
Shout out to my mom who's going through cancer treatment. Praying for your mom. Last but not least, I want to thank God for giving me this breath that I breathe. Talk about this Atlanta, these Georgia sports that I love.
Till next time, y'all. Keep watching, keep listening. Around the ATL.
Dribble, pass, throw, catch, hit, slide, grab, respect. Around the ATL. Dribble, pass, throw, catch, hit, slide, grab, respect. This is ATL. You know we stay lit. Always united. Check the new kit. Home of the praise. Yeah, we on deck. We fly like a bird, like them hoes. Check. Soaring through the city. Rise up.